Yes, best of luck with that. Now, when it comes to managing your diet, many people believe that snacking is an absolute no-no, but gut health expert Dr Megan Rossi says it isn't the case.
Well, Dr Megan says that certain types of snacking have huge nutritional benefits and can actually help you control your weight. So she joins us now to talk about, about it. Snacking does have a bad image.
It really does, and I think it's unfairly demonised. What we see, it's more about what you're snacking on than actually snacking being a bad thing, because it can be incredibly beneficial for things like managing your blood sugars, weight management, etc.
So you talk about this thing called smart snacking. So let's explain what that is.
Yeah, because people ask me all the time in clinic, so what should I be snacking on? And it's just a little bit of a guide as to what things we should be looking for. And the ideal snack, and I know we're not always in the ideal setting, but if you can, it's really to combine something that contains some fibre and some healthy fats or protein. Now, the reason for that combination is that fibre, you guys know, from all the plants, it feeds our gut bacteria. And we know feeding them not only helps with things like our mental health, but also it helps with our blood sugar regulation. So we want the fibre, but then we also want to combine it with either some of those healthy fats or the protein, because they help regulate things like our appetite hormones, so we're not likely to overindulge. So combining those two together really is what I call a smart snack.
Well, you made us very happy this morning. We were reading through what you were going to talk about today. Salty popcorn is a good snack, and I love salty popcorn.
Yeah, of course it depends on how much you're having. If you're having a huge pack, but actually, yeah, hot popcorn can be a really great one, because what it does, it's actually quite high in fibre, so that feeds the gut bacteria. And also, if you make it at home particularly, you can use like olive oil, and that's a healthy fat to help with your blood sugar regulation. So yeah.
And the salt is okay?
It depends on, I guess, your blood pressure. So if you're having issues with your blood pressure, you want to kind of cut back on the salt. But actually, for most of us, having a little bit of salt, particularly if we add in some fruit and veg, because that helps combat the effects of those salts.
So there's a few other things here. Whole grain crackers with hummus and tomato, unsalted nuts and seeds, hard-boiled eggs, avocado and crisp bread, lower fat, yogurt, apples, pears and oranges, obviously healthy sugars, things like that. Is the problem is like the portion control? Because a lot of people, they go, oh, I don't want to snack, because the moment I start, that's it, floodgates open, I can't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's very different when it comes to snacking. So we certainly know that some people, like you said in your example...
I mean, if I'm opening a bag of popcorn, it's like I'm not just going to have one portion. I'm just going to
go for it. Yeah. So for some people, if it makes you hungrier, then maybe snacking's not necessarily for you. But a lot of other people, and the science actually supports this, and if you have a small snack, you know, before your evening meal, actually that can help reduce things like the amount of food you eat your next meal. And, you know, put that into context, a really great study actually gave participants about 30 grams, just a small handful of walnuts before their evening meal. And they showed those who had the walnuts actually ate significantly less calories at the next meal, as well as less salt and other sorts of unhealthy fats. So it can be really beneficial.
You do hear a lot about grazing, which I suppose really, if you were doing it relatively healthily, that could be the same as snacking. But rather than have... Nature never said you have to have 3 big meals a day. So you could actually just graze throughout the day. And if it was sensible, then would that be healthy?
Absolutely. I'm actually a grazer myself. I find that I work much better when I'm just constantly having smaller snacks, because it really comes back to, again, looking at the smart snacks. So you mentioned some things before, like the eggs. So that's a good source of protein, but what I'd want you to do is try to add some fibre to that egg to make it a smart snack. So something like some veggie sticks. You know, some whole grain crackers and some hummus and some tomato are great smart snacks because it contains the fibre, the protein and the fat. So those sorts of things really are beneficial. It comes down to, I guess, you know, the accessibility. Often when we are thinking of snacks, and I think it's probably why it's been demonised, is that we're thinking of the crisps, you know, the chocolates, and not thinking about how beneficial it really can be.
So there's also some research that have said that people with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes could benefit from healthy snacking.
Absolutely. So it was a really great study where they compared the exact same amount of food and the same sugars and all of that rest of it, but they changed the way people ate. So in one arm, they gave people 3 big meals, and the other arm, they had this exact same meal, as I mentioned, but it was just smaller, kind of broken up into 6 portions a day. And what they showed in the diabetic population, those who had those 6 smaller meals actually had much better regulation of their blood sugars. And there's, you know, a lot of people who not only have diabetes, but are pre-diabetic or going through the menopause, as we touched on last week, and actually we know that they're having greater issues with their blood sugar. So spacing it out can be helpful.
How does snacking help you lose weight?
Yeah, so that's the fundamental question. And what we see, the key mechanism, is that typically it means that you eat less at the next meal. And, you know, for example, yesterday I was in the lab at King's where I wasn't able to snack. And when I was able to, you know, eat a meal, I overindulged. I ate like double of what I would normally have if I had my snacks. So that's what we see as the main mechanism of why snacking can be beneficial. It helps you overindulge at your main meals.
I suppose it's also healthier or easier if you don't buy it in the first place. You can't snack on something that's not in the cupboard.
Exactly, and think about those smart snacks. So some fruit, you know, a great source of fibre, but adding in some live yogurt, you get that protein or the healthy fats from that, is a great combination. You know, having a handful of nuts, those sorts of things. So surrounding your environment with those healthy snacks is a smart thing.
I mean, almost sort of relabeling it as nutrients, because you've said that actually if you snack, you can get more nutrition within your body.
Yeah, this is something we overlook, actually, because if you think about the message of, you know, 5 fruit and veg a day, it's really quite difficult to get that in 3 main meals, right? That's why very few of us actually are getting in the 5 a day. But actually, if you see that the snacking occasion can be a great opportunity to get in some fruit, to get in some veggie sticks and hummus, then you're much more likely to reach your 5 a day.
It's interesting because a YouGov poll of 2,000 people earlier this year found 58% identify themselves as snackers, and their top choice is chocolate.
We're getting this wrong, aren't we?
Guys, but the thing is, it's not about all or nothing. We can have some chocolate. I saw the snacks on there before, but you know what?
There was nothing.
It's fine. I am all for... I eat chocolate every day, but what we want to do is turn it into a bit of a smart snack. So have some chocolate, but hey, have a handful of nuts as well with that to help lower your body's...
whole nut?
I mean, it's better than having probably just pure chocolate. Because what happens...
Fruit nuts, really good.
Fruit nuts, there you go. That is for two.
Combining the fibre from the nuts and the fats helps lower your body's absorption of that the sugars.
But you should,
so actually,
the chocolate should be 70% or more cocoa solids, and if it is, then that switches the balance.
That's ideal because it contains these polyphenols which feed the gut bacteria, and actually dark chocolate is kind of high in fibre.
So stay away from baked crisps, store-bought smoothies, granola, cereal bars, chocolate, sweets, sugary biscuits, all the fun stuff, guys.
So add in, you can have them, but add in the fibre, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.